I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it because after I reread Shadow and Bone, I was like, I can't do it. I can't deviate from my TBR so badly again because I have too many books on my TBR. But no, the official trailer released and I thought about it. And then all of my favorite booktubers started doing reaction videos to the trailer, and now here I am about to reread Six of Crows before the show comes out. I act like I'm mad about this, but I'm really not. The Six of Crows duology is like one of my favorite duologies of all time, and while I'm really excited to be rereading this before the show comes out, I'm currently in the middle of like 4 separate books, and screw them all. This one. This is what I'm going to be rereading for the next few days. So this is going to be the start of another Grishaverse reading vlog. So life ended up happening and I didn't get past chapter 1 of Six of Crows, which I'm really bummed about, but I did end up finishing Twice Shy in the meantime just because it was like a really quick read. But it's been a couple days since I decided to do the reread of Six of Crows. So once I get done with my abs workout, hate it, but once I get done in here, I'm going to go home, shower really quick, make dinner, and then yeah, I'm gonna finish up and see what happens, or see what happens again. So it is the next day and I passed out and somehow ended up at the bookstore. In all seriousness, I don't even know what I'm actually looking for. I think the plan is to go down to the Charles River because it is like a 75-degree day. But I have my Kindle and I'm not really feeling any of the books that are on my Kindle. I didn't bring Six of Crows with me because that would be planning in advance. So I think I'm just trying to pick out something to read while I'm down there. I've got the Song of Achilles so far. A little bit of history with Song of Achilles. I started it like a year ago and because I had gotten it out from the library. And I was really liking it, but I got to it towards the end of my loan and I couldn't renew it because everyone was in line to borrow it. So I never finished it and I'm pretty upset about that. But yeah, so I might just get this one and read this just because I got like a quarter of the way through and I want to finish it, especially because everyone's hyping it up so much lately. And I loved Circe, so it stands to reason that I would love the Song of Achilles. So that is kind of where I'm at. The desire to get this in paperback for the afternoon is really real, but can't do that. So what I think I'm gonna do, sorry if it's noisy, it's just noisy. I'm probably gonna go back down to Commonwealth because in true Taz fashion, I was unprepared for a stroll down to the river, so I'm not really comfortable reading here because ground is just the ground. So I'm gonna go find a bench. another bookstore. I'm at Trident right now because I really wanted a lemonade, and this was like the only place that I could think of that I could get a lemonade, which is probably not true, but here we are. So I made it to chapter 6 in the Song of Achilles. I'm enjoying it just as much as I did the first time. I'm really bummed I never finished it then, but shit happens. So I ordered my lemonade and I'm going to continue reading the Song of Achilles. This is supposed to be a Six of Crows reading vlog. I'm reading this. So doing well, but it's been a gorgeous day out, so I'm not complaining. And then the breeze picked up towards the evening, and that was really, really nice because it was almost uncomfortably hot, like mid-afternoon. Good morning, it's Sunday. I went to bed pretty late last night, and that was literally just because I was watching Yona of the Dawn, and reading is just not really happening. Let's just leave that there. But I did read a little bit more of Six of Crows. I did put down the Song of Achilles because while I'm really enjoying what I'm rereading up to this point so far, I want to get through Six of Crows, especially before the show starts. So I did end up reading that little bit of Six of Crows. Basically, Kaz just proving to everyone how ruthless he is, and that he is not only just Kaz Brecker, but he is Dirty Hands. Actually, fun fact about Kaz, when I went and saw Lee Bardugo, it's not in this one. One second. So it was in King of Scars, because when I went and saw Lee Bardugo to get, when she was doing her tour for King of Scars and you could get like your books personalized and signed, I literally made her sign it to Taz Brecker, because my Twitter handle was Taz Brecker for the longest time because I have problems. Anyway, so yeah, I got a little bit of that reading done last night, and today the plan is to really just have a chill day. It's not as warm as it was yesterday, nor is it as sunny. It's like a really gray, overcast day, so I might just do like a little bit of baking and hopefully finish this, because I definitely think I can finish it today, but it depends on whether or not I want to be productive and like clean the apartment, because some rooms in the apartment are a bit of a wreck. The kitchen needs some picking up. The bedroom needs some picking up. I need to like get my home library / home office space like in order for tomorrow, because it's unfortunately Monday. So there's a few things that I need to do, but the biggest plan is to just read. So just a bit of a reading update. I'm at the part where they're escaping to the boat before they set off to the ice court, and I just have so many Kaz and Inej feels right now because he like saved her essentially as they're escaping. I love them so much. I love them so much. Hi, so it's Monday. I just wrapped up all of my work that I had to do for today, so I'm officially offline, and I just kind of wanted to check in with you guys and kind of let you know where I am in my reread of Six of Crows. And I finished it right before I went to bed last night. I only stayed up till like 12:30 to finish it, which was pretty good, but I also got a lot of other things off my to-do list. Like I had wanted to tidy up the kitchen, a little bit of the living room. Half of the apartment is still a wreck, but at least my lazy Sunday wasn't as unproductive as I thought it was gonna be. So just a couple thoughts on Six of Crows. Reading this series, or I guess rereading this duology and rereading Shadow and Bone, just being in the Grishaverse again, it really kind of felt like coming home, which is like, it sounds totally ridiculous because this wasn't a series that I grew up reading. I wasn't a young child when the Grishaverse came out. When Shadow and Bone came out, I believe I was still I was like late high school, early college, something like that. I don't remember the dates exactly, but now I'm kind of curious and I want to check. So Shadow and Bone was published in 2012. So I was a senior in high school, and weirdly it felt like coming home because one, the Grishaverse is just one of my all-time favorite universes, and there's some pretty heavy contenders within that list. Two, and I saw this in my reread of Six of Crows especially, was just, it's incredible to me at how Leigh Bardugo was able to set up this universe with all of its, you know, rich history and the character dynamics and the relationships, and I'll get into that in a minute, but those dynamics really play a huge factor in kind of welcoming you back to the universe when you're rereading it. So yeah, I was just really nostalgic rereading about all of my favorite characters because genuinely there isn't a single character in this ragtag crew that I'm not absolutely obsessed with. Each character is developed so well, but then on top of that, their relationships and dynamics within the group, and then kind of the couplings that you get with both Kaz and Inej, Nina and Matthias, and Wylan and Jesper. It's all done so well. And I know that coupling within like a group is not it's a trope that like a lot of people aren't really a fan of, and personally I think when executed well it can be really fantastic, and Leigh Bardugo has executed it so well with each of these characters. It's really incredible to me how quickly Leigh Bardugo kind of sets the stage with all of the characters and the relationship dynamics, but not even just with that, but with the plot as well, because Six of Crows is a book that is really fast-paced and it's very high stakes, and it was just on my reread I noticed how quickly the stakes sort of stacked up, and it doesn't feel unnatural or too quick. And then kind of going back to the whole relationship dynamics between the group and especially like the couplings, it's so well done. Nina and Matthias especially, I never really liked Matthias the first time around. He was always kind of the character that I was just like, like I'm not really interested in your side story. I'm only interested in you because Nina's interested in you. Nina is my queen. I love her to pieces. But yeah, like with Matthias, I didn't really have anything invested in him, any interest or anything invested in him. And the second time around, I was much more, I guess, willing to cut him some slack, if that makes any sense, which is funny because Mal in Shadow and Bone, the first time I read that series, didn't like him at all. But the second time around, while I still stan the Darkling, and I'm well aware that that's not the right or acceptable answer, but the second time in rereading Shadow and Bone, I was much more agreeable to Mal, and I kind of understood him a little bit more. Like, Melina's a ship that, like, I can understand. It might not be the ship that I wanted, which, let me be clear, I don't want Alina with either the Darkling or Mal, but that's a whole other topic. I covered that in my Shadow and Bone reading vlog, so if you're interested in my thoughts, definitely check that video out. But kind of getting back to the point, with Nina and Matthias especially, I just didn't care about him the first time I read Six of Crows, and this time around, I did. I was much more interested in his side story. I was much more interested in his character development, all of, you know, the internal struggles that he has being a Grisha hunter and Nina being Grisha. Their yearning and tension from basically the first time that Nina even utters Matthias's name, where she's kind of rebuking Kaz at the very beginning for not breaking him out of prison when she'd asked him originally, but only now breaking him out because it suits him. But the first time she like utters his name, it's just so palpable at how much just longing and pain and tension is sort of the backbone of their relationship. Like, their relationship is peak enemies to lovers, and I will hear no arguments further on the topic. Sort of the same thing with Inej and Kaz. While they're not necessarily enemies to lovers, their relationship and their dynamics was just so good as well. Like, that yearning and tension between the two of them, these two very broken people. Everyone on this crew is broken. Like don't get it twisted. All of these people have, if they were in the real world, they would have oodles and oodles of therapy bills to be paying off, and I do not begrudge them that. They are all messed up. But Inej and Kaz's just mutual understanding of each other is just so heartwarming, because Kaz is, you know, obviously he's dirty hands, he's the leader of the dregs, he is a gangster and a criminal and a crook, and Inej is the one who collects secrets for him, and she does that despite being truly good in her core. I think out of all of them, Inej is the only one who's like truly good. There isn't really greed in her character. There isn't really avarice in her character. She's just a good person who's been caught up and swept away in really bad circumstances. And Kaz even says it himself. Inej would counsel him to be more merciful. She takes the edge off of him a little bit, and just that relationship is just so good. It's so good. There's also, as much as enemies to lovers is like one of the best tropes out there, Inej and Kaz's relationship has such a special place in my heart, solely because of the fact that they like cannot touch because of Kaz's aversion to touching people. So the line where Inej was just like, I will have you without armor or not at all, I just, oh my god. But in all seriousness, Inej is badass. She is one of the earliest iterations of brown representation, like brown girl representation in fantasy that I can even think of. So I've always loved her. I will always love her. And that's kind of where I'm gonna leave that. The last thing that I do have to say about the relationship dynamics in Six of Crows is, for whatever reason, I just had remembered relationships developing on page, which that's like not true at all. We come into with the exception of Jesper and Wylan, we come into Six of Crows where relationships have already been established. Nina and Matthias have already had like their whole love story, betrayal arc. Kaz and Inej as well, their feelings had developed for each other prior to the start of Six of Crows, and their relationships just develop further during the book, because obviously high stakes make everything a lot more dramatic, so everything's kind of going hell in a handbasket. Is that the saying? I hope that's the saying. I have a really bad tendency of like mixing up sayings with other sayings, or kind of like Frankenstein patchworking it with other sayings. So if that's the wrong saying, pretend I said it right. But yeah, Inej is just truly the best of all of them, and as much as I love every single one of them for different reasons, Inej just means so much to me. Also, really weird note about Matthias, but I was getting weirdly like Prince Alizaid from City of Brass vibes from Matthias, which it probably has something to do with their like religious, I don't want to use fanaticism, especially in relation to Alizaid, given that, you know, City of Brass, the Daevabad trilogy, was inspired by medieval Islamic like culture and society, but it's more of like that strict religious belief, like everything to the word of what it is that they believe in. I find it really strange because, like, thinking about it in realistic terms, especially with like an American lens over it, I can adore their relationship and think that they're good for each other on paper, but I just know if that translated into the real world, I wouldn't really be a fan of it, because there are genuine things that Matthias has done to Nina and her people that are just wrong, because to him, their only crime is that they exist, that they are abominations, they are not of the natural world. And Nina has called him out on that, which we love Nina, she's strong, I'm glad she calls him out on that. But I think a little bit too much guilt is also then placed on her, because she was a former soldier of the Second Army. She's also done things to the Grisha hunters as well. But it's just tough because from my vantage point, she is the oppressed one and he is the oppressor. So anything then the oppressed one does to fight the system of what they're in, I think is valid. And I think that's glossed over a little bit. I think Lee Bardugo addresses it pretty well, especially within the context of like the Grishaverse, but it was just weird kind of applying my own sociocultural lens to it. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, those are just kind of the thoughts that I had while I was rereading Six of Crows. I'm probably going to reread Crooked Kingdom as well. I say that like I haven't already gotten to chapter 5 in Crooked Kingdom. Basically on my lunch break today, I went and I picked up Crooked Kingdom off my shelf and I was just like, I'm reading you. This is what's happening right now. Heck to my TBR, I guess. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog and, you know, sort of my wrap-up thoughts of me reading Six of Crows, rereading Six of Crows. And thank you so much for joining me and being here with me while I reread it. I hope you're doing amazing and are having a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night, just whenever you're watching this. I hope you are doing amazingly well. I don't think I will be filming a reading vlog for Crooked Kingdom just because, like I said, one, I've already started rereading it, and two, I just have a few other things in the works right now for this channel, and I'm also just really busy in my personal life with work and all of that stuff. So yeah, but I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!